this asteroid is not any more productive than any of the others. It's useless. There's no dilanthium here.
Doctor, our sensors show that there is dilanthium here. Now, I know you wanted to continue mining the moon, but you found nothing.
It's there. Unlimited clean energy.
You think. But OSI knows the asteroids contain dilanthium. That's why they sent us here.
Then where is it?
Well, if not here, there's thousands of other asteroids to choose from. Dr. Leith. Isn't that dilanthium?
In microgram amounts. Certainly not worth mining. It would hardly meet the world's critical demand for a practical supply.
But it is dilanthium.
It's useless. I am writing this entire expedition off as an exercise in futility.
But you can't do that. We did find dilanthium.
You were assigned to pilot the craft to this asteroid, nothing more and nothing less.
I know that. But the mission is not a failure.
When the day comes that you hold a Nobel Prize in astrogeology, you may make the decisions. Until then, you are merely an accomplished astronaut, and the decisions are mine.
But you're wrong about this.
We have finished here, Colonel. We're returning to Earth. And that is an order.
Welcome back. You have a good trip?
Fine.
How about you, Doctor?
I was never optimistic about mining asteroids.
But we did find what we went after.
I'm still convinced the moon is a potentially richer source of dilanthium.
Well, come on. The lab should have a preliminary report by now on samples you brought back. And Bess Fowler is heading up the analysis team. Now, that should please you.
Yes.
It's been a while since you've seen it?
A couple months.
She's looking forward to it.
The sample from asteroid L123 yielded 5.7 milligrams. The Brescia sample from S432, 8.3 milligrams.
That sounds right in the ballpark, Bess.
Hello, Rudy.
Hi.
Steve.
Hi.
I watched your re-entry. You set it down almost on top of the carrier.
Well, I hate long waits for pickup.
Hello, Dr. Leith.
Do you have the analysis?
Yes, the ore is low grade and the sample yield varies considerably, but the dilanthium's in pure form.
Well, that proves asteroid mining can be economically sound.
May I see the slide, please?
Of course.
Steve, can I see you in the lab?
Yeah, I'll be right there. How about a little dinner later?
I'd love to.
Good.
Oh, Steve, what time? Are you okay?
Oh, yeah. I guess I've been in space a little too long. I'll call you when I get through with radio.
Okay.
You know, I just don't know how normal humans put up with Earth gravity. I mean, I can hardly raise my feet off the floor.
We discussed that before I adjusted you.
I know it was a mistake.
Look, if I hadn't toned down your bionics to handle zero gravity in the asteroids, you could have forgotten your strength. You'd have taken one leap and launched yourself into space.
All right, next time, just trust me to remember, okay?
Okay.
Now, just get me back to normal.
Try that. All right, sit down. We'll have to fix that.
Doctor?
Oh, Ted. You're looking fit, Eric.
Feeling fit, Doctor.
I always prefer a public place for private conversation. It's less claustrophobic than a room with drawn curtains. You've heard the plan? You'll pilot the mission?
It sounds a little dangerous.
It's $5 million, Eric.
How many people would know about this?
Just the three of us?
Ted says it could cost a lot of lives.
Ted has a tendency to overreact, even fantasize.
But it is true about it costing a lot of lives.
Possibly. But then you wouldn't earn $5 million if it were an ordinary mission. The question is, how much do you want that money?
A lot.
Go, Steve. That's it. You could have drop-kicked a field goal from 1,000 yards. Try your right arm again. What's the matter, Steve? Something wrong?
No.
Yes?
Frank Tracy is here, Dr. Wells.
Send him in.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Frank. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good. Hey, Frank.
Hello, Steve.
Thought you were working in Hawaii.
Well, I was. Alaska pulled me back to Washington and took away my suntan.
What, a promotion?
Yeah, word is Oscar got kicked up a couple of top-secret notches. However, he's dumped this whole asteroid mining enchilada right in my lap. So I'm afraid you're stuck with me whether you like it or not. Now, Kennedy's getting a bird ready to fly you and the mining party back. I've already spoken with Leith about heading the group.
Wait a minute, why Leith? He objected to asteroid mining from the time we took off until we splashed down.
Best qualified for the job. He's agreed to go.
I don't like the idea. It just doesn't feel right.
You don't like the idea, you don't like Leith.
Both.
Enough business, huh? Who's going to take me out to eat? Hmm?
Sorry, but I made prior arrangements to check out a new analytical heat process. But I'll take a rain check. Did I wake you up?
What are you saying?
Come on, lazy, I'm hungry.
Oh. I don't think the lobsters are ready yet.
Well, I've been eating that space junk for a long time. Now that I'm away from Dr. Leith, I think my appetite's coming back. But let's not waste the day talking business.
All discussion henceforth will be limited to lobsters, wine, or me.
Okay.
Hey, the lobsters need turning.
Well, there's no reason to rush tonight.
Even less than you think, since we're going to be spending the next few months together.
How come?
Dr. Leith invited me to join the mining team on the asteroid. There's no lobster, no swimming pool, but there are other compensations, right?
Well, Dr. Leith has picked his crew here. He's asked for his son as computer systems technician and navigator.
Hal?
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind Leith keeping it in the family. He's young, but he's good, and Bess has worked with him before. Well, at least 3/4 of the team will be happy.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. This pilot.
His pilot?
Yeah.
Eric Muller?
He was a top pilot.
Look, there are a lot of top pilots, but I did the survey.
Steve, Leith picked him.
Well, just tell him it's my flight. Bess assumes I was piloting.
I can't overrule the leader of an expedition. No. You fly the support and supply mission. Goes up midway through the project.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Mr. Tracy, Dr. Leaf is here.
Send him in. Gentlemen. Dr. Leith.
Doctor, I'd like you to reconsider your choice of pilot.
I don't want you on my crew.
But I know the area better than anyone else.
I can do very well without the temperament and personality problems that you pose. You question my decisions. I assume that I still have the authority to select my own crew.
Yes, you do. I've already explained to Steve he'll handle a support and supply mission.
That's fine. This is your copy of the scientific material that I'm going to need. It's been pared down to an absolute minimum. It'll have to be checked against the total weight figures. Eric will go over that with you. Thank you.
Well, it doesn't help much, but at least he was honest.
Well, what do you think?
Well, it's all right, but fuel is going to be the difficult thing to conceal. Somebody's going to notice that surplus.
Don't try to conceal it. There are thousands of asteroids. We may have to maneuver to every one of them. Say I demand the capability for that.
What about Hal?
What about it?
You haven't told him the plan?
No.
And when he finds out?
Hal may have his head in the stars, but I am his father. As my son, he will do exactly as I say.
It's really the girl I'm concerned about.
She could be trouble. She's close to Austin.
Ted is being cut in for a large amount of money. And Ted is going to earn it. He's going to see to it that Colonel Austin does not fly as scheduled. Aren't you, Ted?
Look, when I agreed on joining you, I didn't plan on killing anyone myself.
Well, no one said anything about killing. But accidents happen every day. Don't they, Ted?
Step number 1, now we have remote communications with Earth.
And now we set up step 2?
Right.
There are these alternate bases on other asteroids, just in case.
I've just had a call from Houston. They've ordered us to abandon this project and go to the moon.
To the moon?
But that's already been tried. Dad, you yourself, you sank a dozen sites.
On the light side of the moon. But the dark side of the moon, the volcanic side, that's where the dilithium is.
But that rock's too hard for anything but nuclear blasting.
Well, we have the equipment, Hal.
But, Doctor, you must know the dangers of...
Well, there's no point in discussing it. Frank Tracy at OSI has given us our orders. Orders are orders. I'm sorry.
Well, you convinced them. Now, how do we get away with it?
By convincing Mission Control that we've never left here. That antenna out there will pick up its signals and relay it to us wherever we are. Their long-distance call will simply be a little longer distance than they realize. I've mapped it out from some photographs taken by the last lunar team as they made a pass at the dark side. And we come down and land over an opening into this section of cratered caves. Eric?
No sweat, can do.
We make the caves airtight and then pump in atmosphere from the lab. What do you think, Hal?
That shouldn't be a problem, setting up a connecting airlock. We can come and go without having to suit up.
Bess?
Certainly will speed up our mining operations, being able to function in a shirt-sleeve environment, both here and in the caves.
All right, the first thing we do after we land is set up the antenna. Everybody into landing positions. Eric, it's all yours. Take it down. Keep them occupied. And down there. Houston, this is Pluto 1.
This is Houston Control. We are checking antenna alignment and communications. Also wishing you a speedy return.
Thank you. From all of us here. Pluto 1, out.
Excuse me, Doctor. If that's Houston, I thought if Steve were there, I would...
No, it was just the Houston controller. And they were checking the alignment of our new antenna. You'd better get your gear together. They want us to start mining immediately.
Of course.
Frank, I've been looking for you. Where's Rudy?
Rudy just took a commercial flight back to Washington about an hour ago. I had to hang in here and try to make talk with these think tank space brains.
Yeah, were you packed, ready to leave?
Yeah? What's up?
Well, there's an erratic storm front moving in from the Gulf. I just send fly and get ahead of it.
All right. Can we pick up my gear on the way?
Yeah, sure. OSI 7 to Nashville Control.
OSI 7, this is Nashville.
Hello, Nashville. I'm bound for Washington. I can't get on top of the storm. My cockpit radar isn't much help. Do you paint any clear spots between here and Washington? I'd like a vector out of this turbulence.
Sorry, all I can tell you is that you're not alone. It's solid all over the eastern seaboards, and from the reports we're getting from other stations, it's happening all over the world.
Rudder cable snapped. She won't hold on aileron alone. Give me your belt.
My what?
Come on, give me your belt. I'm gonna try and control the rudder cable manually.
This storm is incredible. Steve, can you glide down through it or something?
I don't know. We'll have a chance if I can manage the rudder. I'm on the glide scope, but my instruments are erratic. Do you have me on radar?
OSI-7, that's affirmative. Our instruments are all over the place, too. You should have the lights in sight in 30 seconds.
Washington Tower, OSI-7. I'm executing missed approach. I will... Cancel, I see the lights. Work throttle. One more? One more. Okay, ease up. Come on, baby, hold. Okay, ease her back. Mike. Grand Control, this is OSI-7.
Congratulations. You're the first plane down in an hour. When you get through the water, take taxiway Kilo 27 to the OSI hangar.
OSI, roger. And thanks for the welcome.
Look, I'm sorry I had to call you back in on this, Oscar. But whatever's happened to the weather is now becoming worldwide.
Any explanation from the meteorologists?
No, none. There's a typhoon in northern Japan. There's a hurricane along the eastern seaboard. There are tornadoes through the Midwest. And Australia reports tidal waves with massive destruction in Sydney Harbor.
Storms like those in both hemispheres at the same time. Frank, what about some nation using weather as a weapon?
Every country that has the capability to modify weather, they're in worse shape than we are.
Yes.
Mr. Goldman, Dr. Tellman from Palomar University.
Put him on monitor 1.
Am I on?
Mark, what's this all about?
We just had a report from Canberra Observatory about a perturbation in the moon's orbit, Oscar. The figures are very inexact. Our people here have computed a second perturbation, and we've been trying to work out a theory.
The moon's orbit has actually changed?
Well, Goldstone radar just confirmed that the moon is 18 kilometers closer to Earth today than it was yesterday.
Does that mean the orbit's decaying?
Frankly, we don't know what it means. But a change in the moon's orbit is probably what's causing Earth's weather.
What could shift the moon?
No idea. But we're working on it.
Thank you, Mark. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
There's no sign of any dilanthium in this batch. That last charge was the deepest blast.
It's there. I know that it's there. We'll have to go deeper. Well, Steve, no let up in the storm.
What would knock the orbit out? A massive meteorite?
Palomar has been running visual checks for new craters.
Yeah, on the front side of the moon. But the dark side faced away from Earth. Any reaction would have pushed the moon lower in orbit towards us. They can't check that.
What do? We could prepare a satellite, send it up, and take some infrared photos. Rudy is checking on that possibility right now.
Oh, that'd take too long. From the asteroids, Pluto 1 has a clear view of the backside of the moon, and they carry a telescope. Put me through to Houston, please. Houston, Steve Austin, OSI. Patch me through to Pluto 1, please.
Houston Control, calling Pluto 1. Pluto 1, do you read?
Keep Helen Best down below and keep them busy.
Pluto 1, do you
Doing
read?
what?
Anything. Start a fight. Stand in your hands. Only don't let them in here while I'm talking to Earth.
This is
Pluto
getting
1,
old.
Houston. Come in, Pluto 1.
Pluto 1.
Steve Austin, Doctor, we need your help.
Yes, Colonel. What can I do?
Well, the weather system on Earth has gone completely haywire. Apparently due to some extreme variation in the moon's orbit.
That's incredible.
We've no idea what's causing the problem, and a visual search of the moon has come up empty. We'd like you to scan the dark side from your position on the asteroid.
Right away, yes.
Look for evidence of a recent massive meteor hit or some volcanic activity that might account for what's happening.
We'll get on it.
I'll contact you as soon as we've had a look. Pluto 1, out.
OSI out.
Doctor, is anything wrong?
Not that I know of. What do you mean?
Eric seems to be trying to keep me out of here.
What a strange idea. Why would he do that?
I don't know.
I think we're all getting a little tense, don't you? Being cooped up here, there are a lot of pressures involved working in space. You begin to imagine things.
I'm not imagining.
Well, perhaps not. No matter. You're certainly always welcome. And if it happens again, we will discuss it with Eric. Now, what can I do for you?
I've checked all the samples, and there's no trace of dilanthium. I'm afraid you failed.
It's here. We're just not deep enough. I'm going to 100 kilotons.
High-yield nuclear explosives? It's too dangerous. I gave you the seismic readings on all the other explosives.
Yes, you are a brilliant analytical chemist. You are not an astrogeologist.
The last shot had more power than the upper safety limits put out by the International Nuclear Power Commission report. Now, we can't risk it. You've got to get approval from Earth.
I wouldn't dream of proceeding without authority. All our figures have been verified by Earth. You see, I'm not really a mad scientist bent on blowing up the moon.
Earth okayed the 100 kiloton blast.
I just said that, didn't I?
Would you have any objections to my contacting Houston and telling them of my concern?
I would have every objection. I don't mind your talking when you have some point to convey. But now you seem to wish to infer that either I am lying or incapable of handling this mission. In either case, I won't have it.
I merely want to verify the figures on the blast reactions to date.
All figures have been verified, and as long as I am leader of this group, I will issue orders and you will accept them. I will not have Earth given the impression that I am incapable of handling an emotional female.
My being female has nothing to do with it.
You have a job to do. It does not include pointless conversations with Earth. Now, please get back to work. When the supply and support mission arrives in 6 weeks, you may, if you wish, return to Earth with them. I will arrange for your replacement.
I'd like you to do that.
Listen, sorry she got by me. Look, I warned you. We're gonna have to get rid of her.
After she's done what we need, we have another problem.
What?
Ted's botched it.
Well, you big Ted.
He'll try again.
Oscar, I'm going to the dark side of the moon.
The what? Leith is covering it. What do you think you're going to find, Steve?
There's a limit to what Leith can see from the asteroid. At 1/6 gravity, I can cover a lot of ground on the moon. This time, I'll go in at full bionic power.
Steve, I'm not sure it'll do any good.
What's better than sitting here waiting? The answer's got to be on the dark side.
I agree, but you have a problem. The dark side is close to absolute zero. Your bionics don't function in extreme cold.
What about a miniature atomic heat module in the suit?
Well, we have one, but we haven't had a chance to test it yet.
Let's call Houston, get Ted Harmon, and have that spacesuit ready.
Let's give it a try, Frank.
How's it feel?
It's a little stiff, a little awkward. It'll be better in space.
Well, this is the standard heavy-duty version. The thinner two-skin one won't be ready until tomorrow. I've had this one checked, though. A computer study clears it to absolute zero.
Well, let's see what the computer knows.
Some moisture must have leaked into the chamber. Door's frozen shut.
Let me try it.
No, we better have it pumped out first. The moisture might seal it again.
Well, I'll just have to reopen it again anyway. Come on, Rudy, we're wasting time.
All right.
Minus 150 degrees Celsius. How does it feel?
Cozy.
Your thermo unit's working fine.
Okay, we're gonna drop. Minus 200 degrees Celsius. Minus 225 degrees Celsius.
Now, how's it feel?
Just like being on the beach in Hawaii. Warm surf.
You're going to know about that.
All right, we're dropping. We're going to 273 degrees Celsius.
Thermo unit's working like a charm.
It's condensation again. I can't budge it. The door's iced up.
We gotta get him out of there right now. That cold's gonna kill him in no time.
I'll get some help.
Come here. Come on, look out. Get out of the way. Get back. Sure do make a fellow worry.
Sorry about that.
I can't understand what happened to that spacesuit. We're gonna find out. You can be sure of that.
All right. Yeah, I'm all right, Reddy.
Look, I want a complete investigation of exactly what happened to this spacesuit in there.
You got it. Now, we better get to the biolab and warm up.
Look, I'll have plenty of time to warm up on the way to Kennedy. I want to get to that bird and get to the moon.
What about the spacesuit?
We'll go with the double skin model and hope for the best.
All right. The bird's ready. It flies just as soon as we can get you to the Cape.
Let's go. Houston, put me through to Pluto 1, please.
Pluto 1, this is Houston. Patch through to Oscar Goldman.
Houston, Pluto 1.
Dr. Leith, this is Oscar Goldman speaking. Colonel Austin has just taken off for the moon. He will circle it and come down on his former landing site. The computer will feed the coordinates of his flight. Would you please keep a sharp lookout? If you see any evidence of trouble on the moon, sun flares, anything like that, please let me know so that we can alter the flight plan.
Indeed we will. Pluto 1. Out.
We will take very good care of Colonel Austin. Anything yet?
No trace.
I know that it's here.
Would you like to check out my test?
We've dug another 7 meters. These are the new samples.
That's unbelievably hard rock.
Houston, this is OSI-1.
down safe, Steve?
Safer than driving a car. How's your weather?
Worse, if possible.
Well, it's like homecoming here.
Steve, are the scientific instruments still standing?
Yes. I'm looking at the seismic detector, the radar target. Sun's angle's right, and I'm getting a big flare off the lenticular mirror we set up.
Do you know that that mirror plotted your landing site within 5 centimeters?
Well, that's funny. The dividing line between the light side and the dark side seems a lot closer than I remembered. Could that be caused by the change in orbit?
Could be.
Well, I'll be out of radio contact as soon as I cross to the dark side. So until I find something and come back, so long.
Good luck.
Steve, you're still checking for the flaw in that other spacesuit. Now, remember, your bionics can't function in extreme cold, so be careful.
Yeah, I will. OSI out.
We know his coordinates, and we know the pass where he'll be crossing the dividing line. It's the only way through.
Austin is smart. He won't be expecting an ambush, but he's not going to be any sitting duck.
He'll be crossing from full light into absolute blackness. It'll take him a few minutes for his eyes to adjust. That's when we get him. Wait for him on the dark side of the pass.
I don't particularly like Austin, but I also don't like killing in cold blood.
Not killing. I don't want him dead. I want him back on his lander, blasting off for home. That way no suspicions will be aroused on Earth.
How do you expect to do that?
We'll wait for him by those rocks. Then we'll shoot them down on him. Make him think he's caught in a lunar quake. Injure an arm or a leg. Damage his spacesuit. Anything to force him off the moon.
he is.
Bon voyage to Earth, Colonel Oster.
He's still coming.
One more step, Colonel Austin, and you're the first dead man on the moon.
Clever. Radio relay to the asteroid. Signals beamed to Earth are bounced back down here and you get them.
Go inside.
I'll check the battery on the relay antenna.
Any word from Colonel Austin on the moon? Yes, I happen to know that he's on the dark side of the moon, and I happen to know he can't communicate. But he can relay through Dr. Leith on the asteroid. Listen, I can give you all the reasons why we haven't heard from him, too, but I would like to hear something positive. Nothing. Why isn't Steve communicating with Dr. Leith?
Now, I think you're bright enough to realize that having gone this far, I am not about to let squeamishness keep me from my goal.
Mining dilithium on the moon?
Yes?
In spite of what you're doing to Earth?
There have been some unfortunate side effects. I regret them.
Hundreds of people killed by the storms you caused. Towns destroyed by floods, and you regret...
I have fought against that kind of sloppy sentimentality all of my life. Haven't you ever heard of the greater good for the greater number?
You're out of your mind.
Why? Because I am realistic enough to know that sooner or later, death comes to us all. What I have done up here only means that for a few unfortunates on Earth, it will come a little sooner. So be it. In the long run, they will have served the common good.
Everything's secure.
Right.
What about him?
We'll put him in the York area. Get inside. Stand back, Colonel.
should keep him locked in.
That cage is pure titanium. Nothing less powerful than one of these laser guns will ever open.
This rock is brutally hard. I don't know whether we're going to be able to drill the 17 meters you want.
For the record, I think this is a bust. We're getting nowhere.
Come on, Bess. Remember Dad's numero uno. He says we'll find dilanthium. The stuff wouldn't dare not be here. Come on, we're a team. We got to work together. Remember, there's only 4 of us.
Actually, there are 5 of us now.
You may as well know. We were not ordered to leave the asteroid and set up mining on the moon.
You lied.
I have put my life, my future on the line for what I believe to be true. I lied. To Houston and to the OSI and to you. We must find dilanthium. The end justifies the means.
You said there were 5 of us. Who else is on the moon?
Steve Austin.
Where?
In confinement. He's a threat to this expedition.
You could have told me.
You couldn't be blamed for what you didn't know.
Don't pretend that you were doing something for me. You never have. All that mattered was that great and personal God's signs.
If I had told you, what would you have done?
Nothing, I guess. I never stood up to you in the past. Why would I start now?
Steve.
Well, were you in on this from the beginning?
No.
But you're a part of it now. The explosions that shifted the moon's orbit caused death and destruction on Earth.
I didn't know. Lee said Earth ordered our transfer here from the asteroid.
Eric, go help Hal on the mine. We're behind schedule.
You knew what would happen on Earth.
Yes. Each of us has our work to do, Bess. That includes you.
Do you really think I'd have anything to do with this now that I know what you are?
Listen to me, please. If you're stubborn, who gets hurt?
Explain it to her. Since the mining is going to continue in any case, Bess should do all she can to help. Surely it's better that we ultimately return to Earth with dilanthium.
He's got a point, Bess. You could stop him, fine, but you can't.
And if you have any ideas about freeing Austin, the only thing that can do that is a laser gun. You're not going to get your hands on one. Just continue to analyze the samples of the dig and let us know if we are mining in the right direction.
I'll be in the lab.
I can deal with anything, but a moralizing dreamer. I'm glad to see that you're a realist.
This is taking forever. We should blast. Why waste time and effort?
To avoid wasting lives.
Keep digging. I'll get these samples analyzed. The rock may soften as we go on.
Leith moved to the moon from the asteroid. He's been mining with nuclear explosives.
Steve, I don't know how soon we can send an expedition up to help you.
Leith will go blasting. Steve, this is Frank. The Earth can't take much more.
It's up to you, pal. Somehow, you've got to stop him.
Okay, I don't know what I can...
Steve? Steve?
The report on the rock is... Where's Steve?
No metal fatigue, no structural defect.
What have you done with him?
He broke out.
But that's impossible. You're lying again. If anything has happened...
Don't be silly. There's only one possible explanation. I heard a rumor some time ago that the OSI had succeeded in making someone bionic.
Was he lying when he said you got yourself out of the cage?
Nope. You were right. He was at the limb.
Radio contact with Goldman?
They're probably preparing a rescue expedition.
I'll be sure of that. Well, first things first, what do I do with him?
I don't know.
To begin with, you can restore that ore carrier to working condition. We're going to need it to transport the dilanthium. I know that you're bionic. No normal man could have done that. If you want to be stubborn, you'll also be dead.
I can't spare anyone to guard you, Colonel. I will allow you to remain free if you give me your word not to interfere.
No deal.
I thought you were a realist. If you force me to commit murder, the fault will be yours.
Eric, you know what'll happen when you get back to Earth if you cooperated in cold-blooded murder.
She's got a point. I mean, you're in this for the greater glory of science. I just want the money and a whole skin.
He's part machine. Every machine has its weakness.
I won't pull this trigger without some provocation. He would.
I have every provocation. You're a deadly threat to this mission. Goldman will have an expedition up here within a week. If I have not found dilanthium by that time, I'm finished. I am justified in anything I do to stop that. We will accelerate our mining with atomic blast, if that... Atomic power. Of course. His bionics must be powered by an atomic pack. Cancel out the heat generated by that source, and Colonel Austin will grind to a halt.
How do we cancel the heat?
Intense cold. It's more than cold enough on the surface. Without a spacesuit, he'd die.
But you can't kill him.
I'm doing what I can to save him.
Eric, that tunnel offshoot where we began mining, how far below the surface would you say that is?
I can tell you exactly. It's just under 2 meters.
Then a steel rod driven into that chamber from the surface would create a temperature close to absolute zero.
And Austin in contact with that rod would be chilled enough to be helpless.
You replace Hal at the digging while he positions the steel rod.
What about her?
Where do we stand? We still need you in the lab, but obviously you can't be trusted. Allowing you to go free is a calculated risk, but minimal. Needless to say, Colonel Austin is hostage to your good behavior.
What is it?
What's happened?
I have great respect for your abilities, Colonel. So much that I will not risk your doing anything to interfere. Remember that.
What happened in the mine?
I don't know, but I mean to find out.
I hit a steam vat. It blew.
That tunnel's a death trap.
Can we dig under?
No way, you gotta come at it from another angle.
It's too late for that.
Mirrors, sun, heat rod.
Can we blast out the vent?
Not likely considering the geological formation. Hal, show me what happened, and then I have a job for you. Driving a rod in from the surface. Eric?
Take the colonel into the mine chamber and don't take your eyes off him.
Best like the man said, we need your services. In the lab.
It's subsiding. Must have been a small pocket. You'd better get back to the surface. That'll free Eric to guard Austin.
Proposition for you, Colonel.
You've got a captive audience.
A combination of steam and an almost impervious layer of rock have put a stop to our mining operation. I need your help to overcome that problem.
No deal.
I intend to drill another 16 meters and then set off a megaton blast.
It'll do 5 times the damage you've already done to Earth.
You've only yourself to blame for that. If you hadn't called Goldman, I would have more time. The big blast could have been avoided. I have made my decision. The question is yours, your help.
You knew I wouldn't go along with that. You've got to have some kind of hook that you think will drag me in.
I can't prevent what is going to happen to Earth.
You can't?
I don't want to split words with you, Colonel. If you prefer, I won't prevent it because I know that I am right. However, I would want to minimize the destruction to the degree that is feasible. You can't stop me. But you can reduce the additional destruction and human suffering that you will be causing. I have been very patient with you. Now it's time for your decision.
Should I wire him to the rod?
If that's his choice. Your stubbornness will be very costly on Earth.
How much time will be allowed for the people on Earth to evacuate?
2 hours, starting now. Every minute that you waste is time taken away from the margin of help to Earth.
Let's go.
Start digging here.
What if I hit another steam pocket?
Well, that'll be too bad, won't it? But we haven't got time to think about that now. Start digging, Colonel.
right, that's it. That's your 16 meters. Now let me talk to Oscar.
You and Hal set the charge. I'll go with Colonel Austin. This is Pluto 1. Put me through to Oscar Goldman. It's an emergency.
OSI, this is Houston.
This is OSI. Dr. Leith, this is Oscar Goldman speaking. I know I can't appeal to you to stop whatever you're doing, but would you please tell us what happened to Colonel Austin?
He's all right at the moment. Mr. Goldman, we have very little time, and it is to your advantage that you waste none of it. I'm going to allow Colonel Austin to deliver a message to you. He will have 30 seconds and no more. Do you understand that?
No. Why can't he talk longer than that? What's happening?
I will answer no questions. Colonel Austin's 30 seconds begin right now.
Oscar, just listen and take down these figures.
How'd you in the tape, Frank?
Police operation is established on the dark side of the moon at longitude 147.8, latitude 21.6.
That is where a 1 megaton nuclear device will be detonated at a depth of 42 meters in exactly 1 hour and 49 minutes.
I've got the numbers. Go ahead.
There's no way to stop the blast, and there's nothing you can do about it from Earth.
Compute the alteration of the moon's orbit, location of maximum effect on Earth.
By starting emergency evacuation procedures immediately, you can save some lives. Should there be any change, I think Leith will let me contact you.
Down below.
This is a red alert. Army, Navy, Coast Guard, civil disaster organizations, the works. I want everybody working flat out. We'll concentrate on the cities on the eastern part of the United States. That's right, from Maine to the tip of Florida. I'll give you the specifics as soon as we get it from the computer. Thank you. Rudy, what do you got?
The worst area in our country will be from Boston to the Carolinas. And we've alerted the Russians to expect tidal waves near Vladivostok, and of course our Western European friends are being kept informed. They're going to be hit harder than we are.
And there's nothing we can do as long as Steve is helpless.
That should do.
Very good.
My left arm isn't bionic.
Word of honor. Eric, some insulation between his left arm and the pole. Quickly. There's no justification for unnecessary suffering or harm. Very good. Is that all right, Colonel?
Both legs?
Excellent job. However, Colonel Austin has an ally in our charming little chemist. We can lock up all the tools that might possibly cut wire. But I wouldn't want her to untwist it. So we'll fuse the ends together. Now I think we better join Hal. I want that detonator installed and ready.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I got the mirrors set as fast as I could. Do you think it'll work?
In time, if they don't notice it first.
I'll get the wire cutters.
No, never mind. Leith locked all the cutting tools up. Besides, it wouldn't do any good.
Where is he?
He's setting the blast.
That means, once it's set, he'll pass back by here on his way to the airlock. Steve, what am I gonna do?
This pole, it's warming from the top. If I could get my arms up there, maybe I can get some strength back. Let me push him up. Just gonna have to wait till it melts down.
Be sure that the detonator is set at the precise time. Once it is, the timer will be fused, so it cannot be reset.
Got leeway. We can do the blast early. We'll be out of the way.
I gave my word. It would serve no purpose to break it.
Suit yourself.
It's getting there. Buy me some time with Leith. Come on.
Doctor, I really owe you an apology.
Why?
I still disagree with what you did, but I doubted that you'd find our lanthium on the moon, and I was wrong.
An astonishing change of heart.
The analysis I just ran showed a strong indication of rich ore. The samples at the 37-meter level are far and away the best.
Then we've dug past the load. You suggest that we reset our charges.
Perhaps dig through the side wall to verify the direction of the vein?
You're lying.
I am telling you the truth.
I would guess that Austin is involved in this charade.
Hold it, Eric. Drop the laser.
You, just touched a chord to the humanitarian side of my soul.
Get the laser bits. Watch him while I tie him up. Sorry your work on the moon is over, Doctor. Bess, I'll get him tied up. You get him back up to the space lab. And I'll disarm the explosive.
You can't. It's too late. Nobody can. Nothing can stop the blast.
He's telling the truth. If you try and alter it, it's going to explode immediately.
The blast will kill us all here underground. But we will have the dilanthium, even though I don't live to see it.
Best take him up to the lab.
This whole operation, Bess, I know that there are things that are terribly wrong about it, but we didn't start it, and we can't stop it. We might as well take advantage of what it'll do for our careers.
Maybe you're the worst. Leith is blind. Eric's hung up on excitement. But you have no excuse. You just won't stand up to your father, even when you know about the terrible things he's done.
He was right before. What if he is now?
Leith told the truth. No way to stop the blast. All right, come on, into the airlock. Pluto 1 calling Houston. Pluto 1 calling Houston.
This is Houston, Pluto 1. We're patching you through to OSI.
Steve, are you all right?
Oscar, the bomb is set. I can't defuse it.
Well, are you in a protective area at least?
Yes, but what's going to happen to Earth?
Steve, the process that's underway will accelerate. The moon is moving closer to the Earth with each revolution. Before we can mount an expedition or do anything, the gravitational pull will destroy beyond belief.
Oscar, we get 9 minutes before the blast. There must be something I can do.
Well, why don't you move it? Throw it out into space. It might delay the inevitable.
The device is motion sensitive. If I move it, it blows immediately. There's one long shot alternative. A shaped blast.
You mean all the force of the explosion in one direction, Rudy?
I know what he's talking about.
But if I can do it when the moon is furthest from the Earth, we might push the moon back to its old circular orbit.
But, Steve, can you shape the charge without exploding it?
Well, let's find out. Get the computer to work on the shape and direction. I'll feed cable down to the blast site so I can maintain radio communication.
Right.
Pluto 1 out. Come on.
Frank, get over to NASA. Get those computers ready to verify any figures that might come in. This is our last chance.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oscar, Steve's ready.
Bass, I'm gonna let Rudy take it from here.
Is the device in a steel casing?
Yes.
Well, Steve will have to press it into the right shape. Now, give me the dimensions.
Well, it's spheroid. Diameter 24 inches. Base 14 inches. Detonator inserted at a 45-degree angle.
Got it. Okay. The sides must be concave, below the median axis. Got it?
I'll have to ease it back. Rudy, I can't do it. The bomb will go critical.
There's no alternative. Now, when you have it in shape, it must be oriented to latitude 35.5.
It's impossible.
Yes, there's a sextant in the space lab. Can you use it?
Sure.
All right. I need a reading to know the exact orientation of this mine shaft. Bring back the sextant.
Okay.
Rudy, I'd just as soon she'd be out here for the next part of this operation.
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Well, the device is on too small of a platform. Even if I press it into the shape you want, it won't balance. It'll tilt, bang, and goodbye.
Is there anything you can do?
Well, I can try to make another platform. Move this thing onto it.
Well, you said if you moved it.
Well, it won't blow if I keep it absolutely steady. Vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. And if you hear a loud noise, you know I didn't keep it steady. loud noise?
No.
Well, I guess it didn't go off.
Steve, you've only got 80 seconds.
The shaft is 13 degrees off parallel latitude. How did you...
I don't know, and I'd rather not think about it. Thanks, Bess. Hey, go on back. There's nothing more you can do here.
No.
Look, when the time comes, I can run a little faster than you. I don't want you in my way. Forget.
Be careful.
Okay, Rudy, here goes.
Keep me posted, will you, Steve?
If you don't hear anything, it's good news. I'm working on it.
Seconds. Seconds. Seconds.
Latitude 35.4.
Got it. Steve, you've got 20 seconds. 12 seconds. Where are you, Steve? Come in.
Steve.
Well, the moon's in its heaven, and I think maybe it's back where it belongs. If you fellas need anything, you just knock.
Calling Pluto 1. Calling Pluto 1.
Pluto 1, go ahead.
Steve, we just got a final report. The moon's orbit is back to normal, the weather's clearing, and I'd say we're all in fine shape. You did a fine job, pal.
Well, we struck out in one area. There's no dilanthium in the mine.
Well, we'll get enough from the asteroids. An expedition to relieve you will blast off tomorrow.
No rush. We're comfortable. At least Bess and I are.
See you soon, pal.
Pluto 1 out. Well, from blast off to touchdown, that's 4 days.
With nothing to do.
You might say it'd be a nice little vacation.
Exactly what I had in mind.
Of course, there's no sun and no swimming pools.
But some compensation.
Absolutely. Table for two.
What's that?
That's Maine lobster and Moselle wine, 1971, naturally.
Naturally, my favorite. Would you slice me a piece of wine, please?
I surely would.